This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have seen about HTML. The main use of going with HTML is it is used to develop static web pages. To display the content onto the web browser, we make use of this HTML. Today, let us move to the next one, CSS. A very simple topic, CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS stands for what? Cascading Style Sheets. And the main use of going with CSS is CSS describes how HTML elements CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on browser screen. CSS saves a lot of work. Let me elaborate the need of going with CSS, how these HTML elements are to be displayed on browser screen. Let us understand more on this with an example. If you go with the HTML file, the root tag is HTML. In this, we are going with the body section. In body section, let us suppose we are creating some 10 paragraphs. I am paragraph 1. I am paragraph 2. Like that, we are creating totally 10 paragraphs. We want to make all these paragraphs to be center aligned. If you want to make all the paragraph to be center aligned, we make use of align attribute and we go with the value center. Like that, for every p element, we have to say align equal to center. Align equal to center. Right? So we need to say what here? In body tag, we are going with the p element, and if I want to make all the 10 paragraphs to be center aligned, we have to use the attribute align equal to center. So you are writing this align equal to center how many times? 10 times. So this only we call redundant code. Redundant means repetitive code. So we are repeating this align equal center 10 times. Okay. Now to remove this redundancy only, we go for CSS. So what is CSS? Whenever we use p element, how you want to display the element on browser screen? Whenever we use p element, I want to make the alignment as center. Then how to write that code is, how to write CSS code is, in head section, we have to use the style tag. In head section, we have to use the style tag. And in between this style tag, go with the element name. What is our tag name here? P. Element name P. Open and close curly braces. And we have to go with a style property. It's all predefined. Text align. Text align. It's a property name, the style property name, and the value center. All are predefined things here. So text align, the property name colon value. So whenever we use p element, the element will be center. Then using this align attribute is not required now. So wherever we use p element, how it is going to display on the browser screen? Center aligned. So that's the point here. CSS describes how HTML element to be displayed on the browser screen. So in this way, it's going to save a lot of work to us. So styling, that styling only main use of CSS. Clear all of you? Any questions? Now let us write the complete code. Open Visual Studio Code. Create a new text file. Let me save this file. So we are working in our folder. I have created a folder CSS. In that, let us save the file css1.html. Here HTML. Head section. We'll come back to head section. Then in body section, We'll say H3. I am heading paragraph. I am paragraph 1. I am paragraph 2. Now we want to make this heading H3 into center aligned, paragraphs to be right aligned. Then in head section, we have to use the style tag. Here for H3 element, we want to say text align. See the goodness of Visual Studio Code. It's going to display the property names and the values also. Text align is center and color. I want to go with the text color as red. For paragraph element, we'll say text align right, color blue. Now open in browser. Right click and say open in browser. See here. Heading is coming in central and red color and paragraphs are coming in right aligned and blue color. Clear all of you? The need of CSS, how to write the styling code. Right? Now, let us move to the next topic here. CSS selectors. So we are having CSS selectors like element selector, ID selector, class selector, group selector. Coming to element selector, the styles are given to the specific HTML element only. Like example, we'll say paragraph element and we'll see here text align, center, color, blue, like this. So we are taking the specific HTML element and we are providing the styles here. So this previous program is element selector. We take the element and we provide the styles. The next one, ID selector. The ID selector uses the ID attribute. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of a HTML element to select a specific element. Let me elaborate this using a program CSS id.html. If you take the previous example, whenever we use paragraph element, the alignment is right. Now the objective is, first paragraph we want to make it center aligned, second paragraph right aligned. See here, first paragraph we want to make it center aligned, second paragraph right aligned. Then can I go with element selector? No, because when you go with element selector, the styles will remain same wherever we use this p element. But for same element, we want to go with the different styles. In that case, we go with CSS ID. Let us go with the complete code. CSS ID. So in between head section, whenever you want to write CSS code, we have to use style tag. Here we have to define the IDs like this: hash ID1. Anything, just to use the symbol hash and any name XYZ. Open and close curly brace. Then say text align, center, color, red. Hash ID2. When you go with ID2, we'll say text align right, color blue, font size 20 pixels. Now, coming to body tag, here we use H3. I am heading paragraph. I am paragraph 1. I am paragraph 2. Now, for this H3, I want to apply this ID1 styles. So how to refer to that one is, we are along with the element, we have to use ID attribute. We have to go with what? ID attribute equal to ID1. So for this H3, I'm referring to this ID1 styles. Similar way for paragraph, first paragraph also will refer to ID1. For second paragraph, will refer to ID2. Right? So for these two elements, these styles will be applicable. For second paragraph, these styles will be applicable. So for same HTML element, when we want to go with different styles, we make use of ID selector. Now, open in browser. Here, heading and paragraph 1 are coming in center aligned, red color. Then paragraph 2 is coming in right aligned, blue color, and font size is 20 pixel. Got it, everyone? How to go with ID? CSS is very simple topic. Then class selector. A class selector selects elements with a specific class attribute. A class selector selects elements with a specific class attribute. The class selector restricts that the styles need to be used by the specific HTML element only. Let me elaborate this more using a code here. So this is similar to ID only, but small difference is there. CSS class.html. Whenever we want to go with class selector, the symbol is dot. For ID hash, and for class it is dot and the class name. So any name XYZ. And here we have to provide the styles here. So we'll say text align center, background color crayon. We'll take one more class dot right text align right, background color some yellow. Right, I'm going with some colors. Now coming to body tag, here we go with the heading 3. I am paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. Now for this heading 3, we want to apply this center class styles. Then we have to use the attribute class equal to center. So for this H3, these styles will be applicable. For first paragraph also, we'll say same class equal to center. For second paragraph, class equal to right. Open in browser, we get the styles here. We are getting the styles. Now, what is the difference between ID and class? So looking similar to ID only. The difference is I can restrict that these classes are used only by the specific element. Means if I say p.center, p.right, now this center class and right class can be used only by the p element. Only p element can use this center class and right class. H3 cannot use this center class. Now see the result when we refresh the page. See, for heading, we are not getting any styles. Even though we are referring class equal to center, we are not getting any styles for your heading because this center class can be used only by the p element. So this restrictions we can do by using class selector. Clear all of you the difference between ID and class? No. The next one, group selector. This is very simple. To go with H3 element, We'll see here. Text align, center, color blue. H4. For H4 also we'll say text align, center, color blue. For paragraph element, text align, center, color blue. If you observe, for these three elements, for all three elements, the styles are same. So when the styles are same for multiple HTML elements, then we can group it. After grouping, how to group is, let's select this H3 comma H4 comma P, just to separate the elements by comma, that's it. So this concept only we call grouping selectors. So when the styles are same for multiple HTML elements, then we can separate that elements by comma. That concept only grouping selectors, a very, very simple one. Let us move to the next concept here. Ways of inserting. So we are having three different ways of inserting CSS. They are internal style sheets, inline style sheets, and external style sheets. Internal, inline, and external. Now, coming to first one, internal. The styles are defined. Using style tag. Defined in head section. The styles are used only within the same HTML file. All above examples are internal. Up to now, whatever we have done, all are internal. So we define the styles using style tag in head section, and these styles are used where only within the same HTML file. Outside I cannot use these styles. So up to now, whatever the code we have written, they are all internal only. Coming to inline, the styles are defined using style attribute. Along with the HTML element. We use it along with the HTML element. The styles are used only within the same HTML element here. Let us understand using program CSS inline. CSS inline. In the body tag, we'll say X3. I am heading. Paragraph. I am paragraph. I want to go with inline. So along with the element only, we use style attribute. We have to use style attribute equal to go with the styles. Text align, center, color red. Similar way for paragraph element also, along with the element we will say style equal to text align, right? Color, right? So what is along with the element we are using? So these styles are used only within the same HTML element. Outside I cannot use these styles. Now see, when we open in browser, we get the styles here. See. Next one, external style sheets. The styles are defined The styles are defined in an external CSS file. The styles are used in other HTML files. So what are the styles you are defining? If I want to use it in other HTML files, then we go with external style sheets. Let us understand with the programs. I'll say here my style dot CSS. This is our external CSS file. So the extension what we give to the external CSS file is .css. Then we'll say here external css.html. In external css.html, we'll refer to this external CSS file. Now, create a new text file. We'll save it as mystyle.css. The extension what we give for external CSS file is .css. Then here we have to go with only styles here, only styles. We should not use any style tag also, no tags here, only styles here. Either you can go with element selector, you can go with ID selector or class selector, anything, but only styles. Like example, I'm going with element selector, body, we'll say background color, some yellow. Then hash ID1, ID selector, we'll say here, text align center, color red. Dot right, class selector, text align right, color, font size, some 30 pixel, like this. So we are just defining only styles. Either you can go with element selector or IDs or class selector, whatever it may be. We have to go with only styles here. Now create external CSS.html. In the head section, we have to link to the external CSS file. How to link to the external CSS file is we have to use the elemental link rel equal to style sheet. The type of the file is text/CSS file, and this is important, href. What is the name of the CSS file? The reference mystyle.css. That's it. Okay. So if this file and our HTML file located in same folder, no need to give any path. If this file is present in some other folder, we have to mention the path also. We have to even provide the path where the file is located. If our CSS and HTML files are present in same folder, no need to give any path. That's it. When you say href mystyle.css, this complete styles will be added into your style here. It will be making it as a style sheet. Then as usual code. Body tag h3 id equal to id1 heading class equal to right. Okay. So for this heading, we are referring to this id selector id1, and for this paragraph, we are referring to the class right here. And for body tag, the background color we get as yellow. Whenever we use body tag, we get background color yellow. Now open this file in browser. See here, the background color yellow, heading is coming in center aligned, red color paragraph is coming in right aligned, blue color in 20 pixel or 30 pixel, what I have given 30 pixel, right? Clear all of you how to go with external CSS files? Any questions? So CSS is very simple. Just we have to learn the styles, that's it. Just we have to learn the styles. Okay. Now, so you can learn more about these styles using the reference for complete web technologies. It's a full length reference. So maximum people know this. What is that? www.w3schools.com. So you can learn complete web technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, XML, everything, Angular, everything from this website. It's a very, very good website to learn all the web technologies. It's a complete library of reference. Now, let us move to the next prerequisite to enter into advanced Java, that is XML. This is important to enter into advanced Java. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. XML stands for what? Extensible Markup Language. The main use of going with XML is used to transport the data from one application to another application. Application to application interaction we do by using XML. So let us suppose we are having an application running in one server and we want to take the data, we want to read the data from database table and send the data to another application. Now, transporting the database data over network is cost consuming. It takes more time to transfer the data from one application to other application if you are sending database data. So what we do in reality, we take the data from database, we convert into XML format and we send that XML file over the network to another application. It's mainly for transportation purpose. Then what is the use of XML in Java? In Java, where we use XML is, in Java, XML is used to create configuration files. To create configuration files required for the application. Java, where we use XML mainly to create what? Configuration files required for the application. So what is this configuration file is like? When you go with web applications using servlets and JSP, we create one web.xml file. When we go with the Maven tool, we go with pom.xml file. In Hibernate, we learn some XML files. In Spring, we learn some XML files. So based on the topic, we have to learn the XML. So when I'm showing the XML code in the related topics, you should not feel what is this XML. That's the main reason why I'm discussing about XML over here now. Now, what is the difference between HTML and XML? In HTML, all tags are predefined tags. Whereas in XML, all tags are user-defined tags. Every tag is user-defined. HTML is used to present the data. HTML is mainly for what? To present the data, whereas XML is for about data about data. Is for data about data. Data about data we call metadata. Like example, if you are using B tag and if I say 5000/B, then what it's meaning? 5000 is presented. If I write this code in HTML, if you write this code in HTML, 5000 is presented as bold. We are just worried about how to present this 5000. We are not worried about what is 5000 here. We are not worried about the meaning of 5000. We are worried about how to present it. So if you use the tag like salary 5000/salary, if I write this code in XML, then by seeing the tag name salary, what is this 5000? 5000 is a salary. So we represent the data, the meaning of data we give with the tag names here. By seeing the tag name, we can know what is the meaning of this data. That's the meaning data about data. Simple way to remember, if you go with the database tables, in database tables, we go with the column names, no? ENO, e-name, salary, book number, book name, price, student roll number, student name, marks, that column headings, whatever we use in database table, that you consider as tags over here. Right? In that way, if you relate, XML is very simple. HTML is not case sensitive, whereas XML is case sensitive. Like example, if you go with the body tag, and when you are ending with body like this is valid in HTML. But if you write salary end with salary in capital case, this will go with error in XML. Okay, XML is case sensitive. HTML is not a standard, whereas XML is standard. The standard is like in HTML, it won't follow any strict rules. Like going with the root tag, HTML is optional, body tag is optional. If you open the tag, closing of tags are optional. Attribute values need not be in double quotes, single quotes like that. It won't follow any strict rules. But XML, we have to follow some strict rules. So what are the rules to follow? That's the main thing to discuss today. When can we say your XML file is valid? Is valid XML. What are the rules we have to follow for standard is a XML file should contain only one root tag. A XML file should go with what? Only one root tag. What is root tag? The first tag in XML file is the root tag. For every tag, there should be a closing tag or self-enclosing tag. For every tag, there should be what? A closing tag or self-enclosing tag. Like example, I go with a tag like my tag. We have to go with slash my tag. We have to close the tag. Or we can even say my tag slash. This we call self-enclosing. Okay. When you end with slash at the end, we call self-enclosing. Next rule is attribute values should be in either double quotes or single quotes. Like example, if you take property name equal to student marks, value equal to 500. Here, attribute values should be in either double quotes or single quotes. Next rule, no overlapping of tags. No overlapping. Right? Like example, if you go with the employee, salary, 8,000 slash salary. Sorry, first slash employee, then slash salary. What you are doing here, first we are opening employee, then salary. First we are closing employee, after that salary. So first we have to close salary, after that only employee, but you are doing in reverse way. This will go with error. This goes with error because of overlapping tags. Overlapping tags. So let us understand all this using the program library.xml. The extension what we give for XML file is .xml. Create a new text file, save it. I'm saving the file as library.xml. Here we go with the root tag library. The first tag whatever we use, that we call it as the root tag. Root tag. This is the way to write the comments. In library we go with set of books. So here we go with a book. Here we will say book number. Here I said no. The column headings, the column names, the field names in your database table, you consider like tags here. So book number 111. Those your book number. Book name, learn HTML, book name. Price, fund. This is one set of book here. Similar way, we can add multiple books to the library. Just think in the terms of tags only. That's the main concept of XML. Change the data. Now how to run? Nothing like running of XML. It's mainly to hold the data. But how to check whether our XML file is valid or not is just we have to open this file in browser. So how to open in browser is just to go to the folder where you are working. Just go to the folder where you are working. We are working in CSS folder XML. So this is the file what we have created, library.xml. So what you do is just to copy the address up to here, copy the address up to where your XML file is present, open browser, paste the address and say /library.xml. So just we have to open our XML file in the browser. That's the final thing. It is showing our XML file as it is on our browser. That means our XML file is valid. And it will show like a tree-like fashion, like this. Okay, if you expand, you can see our data here. Now, if I go back to the XML file, and here if I am using capital L here, instead of small l, I am closing the tag with capital L. Now see, when you refresh your page, we get the error. It says opening and ending tag mismatch. Even if you forget to close the tag, also, once you open, but we are not closing, that also goes with what? Error, opening and ending tag mismatch. Okay, right? So no need to worry too much on this XML because however we write the code in Eclipse and Eclipse will take care of all these rules. So whenever I show XML files, you should not feel what is this XML. For that reason only I have discussed this XML over here. Right? Any questions? No. Moving to the next prerequisite, JSON. This is also similar to XML, mainly to hold the data. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JSON stands for what? JavaScript Object Notation. JSON is lightweight data interchange format. So JSON is more lighter than XML. The size of JSON file is very less than XML file. It's also for interchange of data from one application to another application. JSON is easy to read and write than XML. So JSON is much more easier to read and write than XML. JSON is language independent. Of course, even XML is also language independent. JSON is open standard for exchanging data on the web. Also for exchanging data on the web, application to application communication. So JSON, it's mainly to hold the data. In reality, where we are using JSON, it's mainly for data interchange format, whereas XML we use it for creating configuration files. That's the place where we differ this XML and JSON. In JSON, data is represented in key value pairs. In JSON, the data is represented in key value pairs. and curly brace enclose it and enclose it in between curly braces. Let us understand more with the program directly. Library.json. The extension what we give for JSON file is .json. How to go with JSON file is we will be using more of JSON once we come to frameworks. XML we start using from advanced Java only servlets, whereas JSON we use it in frameworks like Spring. Then how to go with JSON data is we have to enclose the data in between what curly braces here. We want to go with any tags, we go with curly braces. Here we want to go with a set of books. So books. So when you want to hold multiple data, we go with square brackets. In between square brackets, we have to go with the curly braces and say book number, it's a key, and the value of book number. In the case of JSON, the data is represented in the form of key value pairs. Book number is the key and the value is 111. Similarly, book name, the value of book name, comma, price, the value of price. So this is one data, one object we can consider. So like that we can have multiple objects data. Just to change the values. In the case of JSON, the data is represented in the form of key value pair enclosed in between curly braces. Right? It's much more easier than read and write here. Right? Now save it. Now how to run? Nothing like running. We have to open this file in browser. Just say here library.json. If it is showing our data back onto the browser, that means our code is valid. Okay. So more on this JSON we'll be using more once we come to the frameworks like Spring Framework. There I'm going to use JSON data. Right. So these are the prerequisites today: CSS, XML, and JSON. Tomorrow we go with the next topic and interesting one, more of coding, that is JavaScript. So it's a very, very interesting topic tomorrow. Then next class onwards, we'll enter back into advanced Java, where we start up with servlets. Right. Thank you all.